Aloha, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, The Negotiation Table. My name is Wincy Hong. I am the communication specialist here at HGEA and also your host for today's episode. So with us today, we have two guests. We have Joy and Gavin.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Before we dive into this month's episode, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss content like this. So let's dive in. Telework, oftentimes called remote work, is a modern benefit that many employees in the public and private sector now have thanks to the pandemic. It really has proven that folks can do their job successfully from quite literally anywhere. But this benefit in Hawaii state government is under assault by lawmakers. A lot of lawmakers are stuck in their old ways of operating, and this has been on full display all winter as the Senate Ways and Means Committee drilled department heads about the number of employees on remote work. A lot of these comments are unfortunately being made at HGA members. So let's dive into some of the challenges with vacancy as well as the benefits of telework for employees. Do you see telework as something that helps you maintain your overall morale and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Yeah, it was interesting, right? During COVID, we worked from home, and that was different, right? I mean, being at home for that stretch and then then we went back slowly, but then what I noticed is that I could do my job at home. It actually did help because then you don't, like you said, you could save money, you save time, you just all those benefits that were pretty good. And then when we had to go back full time, then morale wasn't the best because we're so used to working from home, right? We go in like a little slowly. So you could tell when we went back, it was hilarious because people were like, "Oh, we're in the office 5 days." But then when the things started coming back, when we started teleworking, you could tell people didn't complain as much and they still could be able to do their job. So I think it helped a lot of my coworkers also. Just when you hear less complaints, that's when you know it's a good sign, right? They actually don't look like they're dragging to come to work. And they actually, when you feel better, you actually do your job a little better, right?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that and also sharing on behalf of your coworkers as well. My next question is for you, Joy. So just for a little bit of context, so recently a state senator remarked that long commute times or distractions in the office aren't, quote, good excuses for teleworking. Joy, how will this attack on a modern benefit like teleworking impact the state's ability to compete against the private sector for new employees? And is it really the senator's job to quibble about the reasons that employees have for working remotely a few days out of the week?
Well, to answer your first question, frankly, it's already having an adverse impact on the state's ability to hire and retain, as Gavin had mentioned. When they're not changing the benefit package, they can't compete with the private sector. So the current workforce is looking for more flexibility, which includes remote telework and also that greater work-life balance. Even the director of DHERD mentioned that it's the supervisor's responsibility to manage the performance of an employee. So they shouldn't be interfering in it. And when you're judging performance, it doesn't matter whether the person is in the office, out in the field, or remotely teleworking, or a combination of the three. I'm also concerned that legislators are looking at telework and only considering like an all or nothing solution. There are many classifications of work that, I acknowledge may require them to go into work physically, maybe the ones in corrections or those in schools or hospitals. But there are many other classifications that we represent, like for Gavin's situation, case management, IT, other social services professionals that are successfully doing their job and not in the office.
I want to move on to productivity now. So many senators are pushing the idea that teleworking employees aren't productive in their jobs. They're going so far to suggest that costly monitoring systems to track employees' productivity would be essentially effective. Recently, a senator even suggested that unproductive teleworking HR specialists are the reason for the state's high vacancy rates. So my question for you, Gavin, what is your overall reaction to some of the disparaging comments that have come from senators about the work ethic of state employees, many of who are really just trying to do their best in shorthanded departments?
Well, okay, so it's pretty interesting you asked that. So we get checked on for like what we do. So I talk to my supervisor a couple times a week when we're teleworking and stuff. We check in, they check in with us. We have case reviews, so my clinical lead checks in with me. And then at the end of the month, we get like these reviews of how many things we actually did. So we do get checked upon and reviewed. I would think most people, you go to work, you do a job, you earn a paycheck, right? That seems to be the way I was learned to be raised. Like you don't just like try to get free money for doing nothing.
For Joy, recent labor studies have found that people who telework are actually more productive than those who report to the office. But there seems to be the impression by some lawmakers that teleworking means people aren't working. Is teleworking really the problem that these senators are making it out to be?
Absolutely not. I think there's a lack of trust, with the legislators who feel that they can't trust people who may be working from home. It's just unfair. I think that those who are working from home go beyond their normal workday. I know of members who say that they answer emails before 7:45. They respond to emails after 4:30 because their supervisor has given them that flexibility. That's what people want. But that's not what the legislators seem to understand.
Some senators have introduced a bill that would limit telework to 2 days out of the week. Others have gone as far as to request to see individual employee performance reviews or insist that supervisors make home visits to ensure that employees are actually working. So, Gavin, could you describe the kind of supervision you get as someone who teleworks?
Like I mentioned before, me and my supervisor, we talk, and then we have a team chat also. So there's constant communication between us. I mean, because we just work as a team sometimes, and we want to, if we have questions, I call my supervisor because I don't know everything. So sometimes I just need help, or I need like someone to cover another meeting for me. So there's always the check-in, but also we also have other people in our office whose job is to make sure that like all the progress notes are and everything is done by the end of the month. For next year, we get to telework 3 times at home and 2 times in the office. So there's a balance of so it's talk about being monitored and stuff like that. So there's like you get to telework at home, you do your job, and then you get to be in the office, do your job, and see your coworkers. So it works. I mean, we've been doing this, and it actually works. No one likes someone being micromanaged. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I work, I wouldn't want someone hovering over me for 8 hours, and be like, "What are you doing? Why are you not doing this?" Or like, "Why are you doing that?" And to me, I think, personally, I work better without someone just hovering over me. Like I said, most people will do their job. That's what we get paid for.
Do you think senators have a point that more monitoring is needed of people who work remotely, or would you say your managers have that covered?
Yeah, my supervisor has that covered, and then my branch chief, watches over the supervisors. Supervisors watch over us. We get end of the month reports, and we also have a quality assurance person in our office to make sure everything is done. So I don't think we need more people. I mean, I think I have other opinions of what we need more of, but I don't think it's more of micromanaging what we do or don't do.
Seems like you all have a very effective system
Yeah.
in place already.
Yeah.
Joy, one of the senators recently suggested that supervisors should be making home visits to teleworking employees to ensure they're not doing childcare while working. Another suggested that teleworking employees are home washing clothes and eating donuts. Is it really the job of senators to be micromanaging the work of directors and supervisors?
No, in fact, what's wrong with eating a donut at home or at the office in my cubicle? I'm still doing my work. I know so many people who snack and work at the same time. We multitask like that. But it isn't the job of even DHERD to be tracking and monitoring this. As Gavin said, the supervisors are responsible. There's a performance appraisal system that's in place for state employees, so that holds them accountable. It's all there.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think lawmakers should be doing instead to address the bigger crisis on their hands, the growing vacancy rate in state government?
Well, I think for one thing, rather than asking these line departments to spend time and resources on monitoring and tracking their remote working employees, they should be providing supports to these line departments who find so many challenges in recruiting and hiring. For example, the time that it takes to hire and onboard someone. I am responsible for a lot of the new employee orientation information that comes to HGA, and when those come in, I've seen a record number of employees, HR letting us know that the employees have declined. I know of people who forgot they applied for state employment because they applied 6 months ago and are only getting the call now. And they decline it because a better job offer came along. Or, yeah, like I said, they forgot that they even applied for the state. Those things shouldn't be happening. And when you talk to departments, it's because they can't even get a list of qualified applicants until they hit an X number of applicants on that list. So these antiquated procedures, that's where the legislators could spend more time and resource in providing support for the changes that are necessary to deal with the crisis with recruitment and retention.
I see. Before we close, do either you have any final messages for our audience here listening?
I think, if you're gonna recruit or have people, you want them to do their job well, and I think teleworking will help because it's just something, another benefit that we could, fill the vacancies or just also enjoy to work better. I mean, there's just if I want to tell you, if you've seen the morale when we all had to come back to work in the office, we were glad to see each other, but then you can see it on everybody's face, and they're like, "Well, here we go again. We're back in the office." I mean, because our job is not what we do with mental health. I work on the west side, so we have a lot of problems. I'll just put it that way. We have a lot of problems that we deal with. So of course, we're dealing with people's lives who are dysfunctional right now. So, to help us, one of the things we learned is just, if we don't take care of ourselves, then how are we going to take care of other people? Especially in the mental health field. If you're not any good mentally, you're not going to be able to take care of other people. The other thing is technology and the way of the future. This is how it's probably going to be. I mean, it's the way technology and the trends are going. It's probably going to head more that way.
Actually, that's where they should put the
Yeah.
funds in beefing up the technology for workers to be able to work remotely and
Yeah.
have the systems in place.
Thanks for that. I think your perspective is very interesting too, because you have both the mental health perspective as well as your own experience. So thanks for sharing. Joy, any final messages that you want to share?
I just wish the legislators would just not focus so much on considering appropriating funds for this monitoring system, but rather looking at appropriating funds to consider a better benefits package for state employees so that they attract top talent, they keep local talent here, and they can compete with the private sector. Because at one time, government employment was attractive, and unfortunately, it's not as attractive anymore.
The times have changed,
Yes,
definitely.
very much so.
Yeah. Well, I just want to mahalo both of you for joining us today, and we really appreciate you taking time to share your stories with us, and also we really just appreciate all that you do for our community. So mahalo. Folks who are listening, join us in the comments, join us in the discussion. Let us know what you think. How is it working out for you in your department regarding telework? And for more content like this, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss content like this. And other than that, I will see you next month for our next episode here at the negotiation table. Bye-bye.